Well, hello there, it's me, RJB, and it's been almost it's been almost 6 days since my last video. That's because over the last week we had a heat wave here in the Netherlands, and particularly in my region, it was particularly hot, particularly unbearable. So I decided not to make a video because, simply put, I didn't have it in me to go cast the game while my rooms are at 30 degrees or 35 degrees at minimum. Not very doable, is it? But that aside, all that aside, I'm back, and I'm here to bring you some replays, some action of the highest levels of fastest map play. Now here we've got Adril LF23, who is known as Lovely Rabbit or Toki to most. This is one of his other names he uses mostly for public games. Most of the time he plays on Yanshiki Sonyun when he plays 1 vs 1, but this time around he stayed on that public play name instead of the 1 vs 1 name. And here on the bottom corner we have the blue Protoss, also known as the player 458 exclamation mark ×3, and he has made a return to Starcraft somewhere around 3 or 4 months ago. There was a time period from about November until February where he wasn't playing all that much, or wasn't playing at all. He even deleted all of his stream VODs. But at least I managed to acquire his entire replay pack before that happened. So I have all of his replays until 2018 September, all the way from December 2019. So that's a whole year and almost a year and a half worth of replays that I've got from 458. Although this set of replays that I'm going to cast and show you right now is actually from Rabbit's autosave, and this is a game played in April between these two players. And that little introduction aside now, we've got Rabbit going for one of his signature rather odd, weird build orders. 2 barracks there close to his choke, so he can do a bunker rush on the choke of the Protoss because he knows that 458 is most likely going for this specific build order. And he finds his opponent rather quick, but his opponent already pulls 4 probes to the front. 1 was already there to make those 2 cannons, and with those 4 probes he can fight off those Marines and those SCVs to prevent these cannons from going down. He kills the SCV there, and the Marine there is still alive. Marine tries to do some more damage on the cannon, but the cannon comes up, so he's forced to micro backwards. He's going to try to sneak in, but the probes are going to block the axis, and the probe's actually doing a lot of work here. Only a single probe there goes down, so he killed 1 SCV and 2 Marines there in total. Couldn't get in, but at least he knows what 458 is up to. Plus he slowed 458 down just a little bit by making 458 pull 3 probes off of his minerals to the front to defend there. So pretty good move there from Toki. But he's gonna have to be very quick now here, though. He's adding on 2 command centers right off the bat. He's stopped making Marines altogether. Only has 2 Marines here in the front. So his economy is not that big. There's a Zealot out there for 458, ready to scout the map. 1 Zealot is stronger than 2 Marines, potentially even stronger than 3 Marines if the Marines are not microed all that well. So he's here on the chase. More Marines are being produced right there. And I think once 458 gets into that base and sees that there's only 2 barracks there, that he knows exactly what he has to do to turn this into a very quick win, because Rabbit is playing it very risky here. He's playing it very risky. He's got the academy now here on the way. He's mining from 2 geysers there as well. And command center number 1, the extra one, has finished, and command center number 2, the extra one, is also almost finished. Factory there also now started and on the way, whereas 458 is now already warping in his robotics because he finished his cybernetics core. Zealot's being rallied there to the front just in case his opponent was going to go aggressive, but I think 458 now knows that Rabbit is not capable of going aggressive. Although he didn't see the barracks, he did see the amount of Marines that there were, and the amount of Marines indicates that he is pretty much incapable of attacking, which makes this a very good game for 458, who is now on 2 robos. Citadel of Doom there in the bottom corner to prevent it from getting scanned, because there's a scan there on the way, another scan here on the way as well for a double scan. So you can scan pretty much this section and this section of 458 space, assuming that there's probably robotics here in the front, or there's robotics here at the main nexus. There's 2 options he has at the moment. Moves out with his Marine, tries to be aggressive, but he's going to walk into 4 Zealots there in total. He immediately sees it, immediately pulls back, regroups with those two medics. With those two medics, he has the ability to fight, but it would still be a coin flip. So he has to micro himself backwards, stim. He gets stuck between his medic and the zealots there. Very unfortunate there for Rabbit. And he eventually pulls back to his engineering bay. There's no turret here in the front just yet. Excuse me. So 2 starports on the way here for Toki. He's gonna go for some raids to fight against those shuttles, but the shuttles have almost finished already. And he won't have a Wraith out before that shuttle flies in. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Allergies to the weather. Submarines there in the front, trying to see if they can do something, but there's nothing he can do. Citadel of the Dune has finished, and Templar's Archives there on the way. We've got more barracks. These are gateways, more gateways being added on. And the choke here in the front almost finished up. There's a tiny little hole there, and that tiny little hole might wind up killing him. I honestly don't like the choice to go for an engineering bay here in the front, because I think building supply depots is actually way better to keep those zealots out. Because if those zealots can make their way through, that spells a lot of trouble for you. So the double Reaver has finished. He's got some zealots there, but I don't think he's going to use those zealots. He did use the scan to see what was up, but he scanned the front portion there, and he didn't see anything there in the front. So he doesn't really have any information that he can use to formulate his next attack. He's got Storm Upgrade on the way here at the bottom. He's got Prophetic Boosters for his shuttle speed also on the way. And the zealots are looking to be fishing for an attack here on the front to distract from the Reaver. Maybe he's going to go in from the side here. He sees that there's stuff there. He uses the zealots. Wait, oh, he's messing up. Wait, no, it's actually working out. It's working out. That's a brilliant move. He sent in the zealot through the front so he could unload the Reavers next to the tanks and kill the tanks, because the tanks had already used their shot. He did lose the shuttle there though. Quite unfortunate, but the Reavers there are still alive. The zealots there in the back also now hammering on that tank, and now we're seeing the backfiring of whatever Toki was doing. Toki was playing on a very low unit count build, relying on raids to snipe shuttles, but it was an attack that 4-8 formulated really well and abused every single weak point in Toki's build. This is, in my opinion, definitely not a build worth doing, because it's pretty much a gamble. You gamble on getting an advantage that you may as well, if the gamble works out against you, you're giving that advantage to your opponent, as we're seeing right now. 4-8 is just going to have to scale up, grow bigger, and keep sending out waves and waves of attacks. He's loading up a shuttle with some pretty nifty dancing back and forth, trying to get this all down perfectly. More zealots here in the front on the way. Zealot speed is on the way now as well. We kill the depot there in the front. And in the process of killing the engineering bay, shuttle flies in over the exact same spot as earlier. It's going to make it through all the way, although it gets slowed down a little bit. But Toki's not responding. Raids are not moving in. SCVs, he doesn't have Storm. Does he have Storm? Yeah, he didn't have energy for the Storm. He had 74 energy on every single 3 of his Templars. It's very unfortunate, but another shuttle there coming in through to the top side. There's a single one in there. He doesn't snipe the shuttle in time. Templar there on the lookout. Templar's energy, Templar storms. Templar kills 18 SCVs there from Toki, and Toki is looking to be in a world of hurt. He is trying to build a lot of barracks here in the front to ramp up his army size, but I think he has already made too many mistakes or too many gambles that worked out against him by playing the way he did. If those raids had been out a little bit earlier, he would have sniped those shuttles really easily, but he is a little bit slow in the responses because 458 is playing this one really well. He's doing a lot of great stuff, using zealots to take the focus or the tank shot, and then using the interval in between to drop Reavers to kill them. I really like that little detail. I'm gonna use it in my own play. It's a really smart little move. So another scan there comes out from Toki. He scans this portion, but I clicked a little bit too late, so we cannot see it. But nonetheless, he's got information on all this, but the information is not that crucial. It doesn't really give him that much. He didn't build a new wall there in the front, even though he needs a new wall there. He's trying to use these barracks as a new wall, building a bunker behind it, and Marines behind it as well. Shuttle there on, oh, it's a Corsair. Oh, another Corsair. He's going to do some recon with those Corsairs and potentially do some damage on those raids. Raids are hunting for something to kill, but there's nothing coming in because 458 is taking his time, being a little slow to just mass up a mass shuttle drop and going at about the 10-minute mark because he has all those zealots and temples now finished up along with the shuttles. More shuttles still on the way. He's just taking his time. He wants to really make this a one-drop wonder. Finish the game with that one single drop and not give Toki a single chance to survive because he knows he needs to hit something that kills him right now because Toki is recovering off of his 3 command centers, slowly growing bigger and bigger, building his base, and he's pretty good at camping it out if you give him the time to do so. Though that kind of defeats my argument from earlier because 4 of 8 is giving him the time to set up, build up shop, and prepare himself for the coming impact. I really didn't expect 4 of 8 to take his time like this. He's got more Corsairs on the way because he wants to put an end to all those raids. This is a very, very heavy raid defense. Very heavy raid defense. So how many raids is this? 7 raids? 10 shuttles? He's still building onto his base, still not going in. And the replay is not corrupted because both players are still doing whatever they were supposed to be doing. There's Dragoon here on the bottom side to deny vision. Another observer here coming into the mix as well, which leads me to believe that 4 of 8 is going to fly in over the bottom side of this base. Because he needs those observers for the cloak upgrade, which these raids definitely do have. Interceptor capacity on the way as well. He's turning those Templars into Archons. He's going to go straight for the command center, I'm sure. Because Archons deal a lot of damage to command centers. Well, Archons deal a lot of damage by default. Not just to command centers, they deal a lot of damage. So you're going to see it, 30 damage there on the Psionic Shockwave. If you've got a lot of them, you can ball them up around the command center and take it down stupidly quick. Stupidly quick. Toki now, though, has recovered quite well, but I don't think he'll be able to hold this because there's observers here in the mix. He's flying in, but there's an observer there, right there. And the Corsairs are coming in. Corsairs are going to tear through those raids like butter. He sees it, he pulls back, and he knows like, oh geez, oh geez, oh geez. There's a mass drop incoming, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. There's nothing I can do to stop it. In come the shuttles. Toki knows the game is over, so he responds a little bit late. He's going to try to defend himself anyway. But there's a lot of Archons right there in the mix. And look at how fast this command center goes down. And he cannot repair it. There's Zealots, Archons, everything is on top of it. And he's being torn and taken down. The 1 shield upgrade on those Archons, quite peculiar, quite interesting. He was setting himself up for the tech switch into carriers, so he loses the command center here. He keeps most of his SCVs alive, but his Archons are actually killing everything. And that's a very quick first game win for 458 off the back of Toki trying something a little bit experimental and it backfiring extremely hard. 458 could have probably ended this game a lot earlier with some Zealot speed lags and another wave of Reaver Shuttle Micro. We could have probably ended it, but he wanted to end it in this specific fashion, which I understand. It's kind of fun to do. He was setting himself up for carriers as well, which were already on the way, so I also understand why he wasn't investing all that much into that faster finish. He wanted to be secure, and those carriers would have most definitely sealed the deal if this had failed. Nonetheless, well played by 458, and a lot of question marks for Toki. I don't like this build order for obvious reasons. You stay too small for too long, and defending becomes really, really hard. It's pretty much dancing on a knife's edge. So for game number 2, and I just want to highlight this again, this is actually not a best of series. Well, actually it is, but the series is too long, so I'm just gonna pick some games in particular and cast those. And hopefully we get some great matches. And that's why I picked this one, because this one is a little bit on the lengthy side. It's got 458 here on the Protoss on the bottom middle of the map, whereas we have Toki here on the top left corner playing the red Zerg. Now Toki has a really fun and interesting Zerg to watch. If he gets the chance to get himself and claw himself out of that early game and get himself into the mid game. He is one of those players who kind of risks a lot. And you might call this a risk, but this is actually a very viable Zerg build order to not build a choke, but to go for 3 hatchery, well 2 hatcheries right off the start. Some players go for 3, but He goes for hatchery pull and an early gas. This is a very common build order amongst the top level fastest players because they have the Zergling micro and the macro and the multitasking to make this work. They know how to make a non-choke Zerg work. If you want to do a non-choke Zerg, make sure you know exactly what to do. So if you want to try it out, watch closely and learn quickly. Well, there's a probe here trying to deal some damage, trying to harass and distract. Hatchery number 3 there on the way. He's got about 4 drones mining minerals because he wants to build Zerglings after he's got the pull finished up and get Zergling speed there as well. 2 Zealots there on the way. Probe eventually goes down. Almost got the minerals for Zergling speed, I mean. He got slowed down a little bit with his income. He's pulling the drones off of the gas, puts them back on the minerals so he can get his income right back where he needs it to be. 4 of 8 is going for 2 Nexi. Right off the bat, he's not planning on being any more aggressive than he already is at the moment. Because he knows that either he can kill Toki right here, right now, or Toki will be completely fine, no matter the amount of gateways 4 of 8 decides to add on very early. He knows. So the Zerglings managed to scare away those Zealots for now, but the Zealots have regrouped, 3 Zealots now there in total, and is on the hunt. But I think this is about 12 Zerglings here, and those 12 Zerglings there should be completely fine. Completely fine he should be. Let's get Overlord there, hatchery number 4 there on the way as well. He's on 11 drones now. Zerglings are hunting. Zergling speed almost finished up. He wants to go in the moment he gets Zergling speed so he can surround those Zealots pretty much right off the bat. More Zerglings there. More Zerglings are being built in his base because he needs a bigger group of Zerglings to make all this work. He gets his Zerglings behind those Zealots, tries to go for the main here, I'm sure, but I don't think it's gonna work. He managed to find a Zealot there on the middle of the map. More Zerglings now on the way on the backside, and he gets a surround on those Zerglings here. Right on the middle, goes in from both sides. There, Zealots now locked in between. 4 of 8 is trying to micro it by setting this one in, but more Zerglings are coming in there as well. And now we've got to think about a total of 24 Zerglings fighting against 4 Zealots. More Zealots here in the base on the way. More Zealots are spawning. Going for 4 gateways there in the meantime. He's got only a single cannon. He's going to have to pull those Zealots back to his Nexus if he wants to come out here unscathed. But look like Toki is going in. He's not going for a surround. He's going for a straight frontal attack. Not the best method of attacking with Zerglings, but at least he's putting 4 of 8 back on his toes. He's got 20 drones now in his base. 28 there for 4, 5, 8. And he runs into a wall of Zealots that his Zerglings physically cannot fight against. He's going to try to run around, get on top of the cannon, try to get something done. No, he goes for the Nexus instead. Hatchery here in the front, also coming down in the meantime. Gets around on that single Zealot. Zerglings are just going to keep dancing back and forth there with their Zergling speed and try to get stuff done. Goes for the Nexus once again. Zealots being pulled back there for 4, 5, 8. And this harass here is buying Toki a lot of time to get bigger and bigger. 27 drones now against 37 probes. That number went up pretty damn quick, pretty high. 2 more gateways there on the way as well. He's got Zealot lags soon to be on the way. He's going for Zealot ground weapon upgrade first. There's the Zealot lags also now being queued up. More Zerglings dying, still keeping 4 of 8 busy. That's another 4 gateways there, so we will have a total of 10 gateways for mass units, because he is assuming Toki did not choke up, but Toki has his hatchery there in the front finished up, and he's already got 5 drones there in the front to build more Sunkens. 31 drones now, layer on the way. He's got a Hylas Den there as well. Hylas also being morphed, tries to finish off that Nexus, but there's a single cannon there preventing him from killing the Nexus. All the gateways are now finishing up. Zealots are being balled up there in the front, which Toki can see with the help of that single Overlord. And just a little bit of leftover damage dealing here. Trying to just distract and be annoying. Not really aiming to achieve much. He did not achieve much in terms of material damage or unit killing, but he bought himself a lot of time to get this nice little wall here up in the front. Putting those Hylas there in between this little pathway that Zealots can still walk through. Zealots can pretty much do nothing here at all. And this leads me to believe this game is going to go the distance. He tries to go for it, but there's an Evo chamber there blocking access, and he sees that there's already 7 Sunkens there behind that Evo chamber, which is something he physically cannot fight through. Because first the Evo chamber, then only these 2 Sunkens are in the front, and by the time he'll have these 2 Sunkens killed behind the Evo chamber, all of his Zealots will be on low HP, or most of them will be dead. So even though he's on double the supply count as Toki is right now, the game is actually pretty much even. Because right now we're at the stage where Toki can add on a lot of drones really safely and grow bigger and bigger and get more hatcheries from macro. Anything he needs, he can get it. Because 458 has to wait for his robotics facility to finish, his Dragoon range to finish as well, because his Dragoons can kill this Evo chamber outside of the range of that Sunken behind it. Which is definitely something he's going to try to do. Although for now, he's just going to focus on having a wall here in the front with those Zealots. He's positioning his Zealots in a wall here, and he's going to go for the sides, trying to clear out Overlords that are hovering on this spot here with those Dragoons. He's sending them to this spot first, clearing out Dragoons, because he wants to have... well, he wants to deny vision. That's pretty much it. Just deny vision. Also, Corsairs on the way, being added into the mix. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more hatcheries for a total of 8 hatcheries soon to be finished here for Toki. Already got a hive there on the way because he built his Queen's Nest there in the front. And considering you don't need a Queen's Nest after you have upgraded your hive, he builds it there in the front just so that he has 850 HP of meat shield there in the front in case 458 manages to break through. Corsair there on the hunt, but Corsair finds nothing. Another Corsair on the hunt here, but it finds nothing. But it's going to go for a scout straight into the base and see what's up. Both scouts are doing the same. One scout flies into its death. Spire almost finished. Hive almost finished as well. It's halfway done. The game is progressing slowly but surely. 4 of 8 now is 75 probes, and he's got 3 robos there on the middle. He's got support by there in his base. He's got a Templar's Archive nowhere to be seen. He's got a second Forester on the way as well for more upgrades. And he's mining from 6 Gazers in total, which should be enough for now and probably for the entire game. Unless he starts spamming units in gateways or robos, and he might get in some trouble. But as long as his macro stays on 1 unit per building, he should be completely fine with just 6 Gazers. Pylon being built there on the side, aiming to contain his opponent, his adversary. He's got a hive finished up, greatest spire there on the way. 1 more hatchery for a total of 10 hatcheries in the near future. He's doing completely fine. He's being given a lot of time, but not on purpose. 4 of 8 did not give him time on purpose. It just happened to work out this way. This was physically the fastest 4 of 8 could have formulated his specific tactic, given he was expecting Toki to be doing something else than what he was actually doing. Which is, he didn't expect this late choke. He did not see it coming. So really well played there from Toki. It really raised his chances to win this game. Because Toki now at the moment on 57 drones. He's losing Overlords at the moment, meaning he's supply stuck, incapable of adding more units. But at least he can keep building. He can get Lurkers. Lurkers are going to be flown into the front there, or is he gonna... no, he's gonna pull them back to his main hive to protect his drones against drops. Whenever a drop gets unloaded here around the main hive, they get attacked by lurkers that they cannot see, and it keeps the hive safe, keeps the drone safe. Not entirely safe, but safer than if those lurkers hadn't been there. And you'll see that in the future. Trust me, you will see the results of those lurkers in the future. It will be a worthwhile investment. So he's got level 1 Carapace on... well, Carapace for air on the way, and he's got level 1 weapon for his Hylitus on the way. More lurkers being added on there in the back. Frontal attack happening now here as well after those Reavers push through the hatchery and the Evo chamber. And this is actually quite a successful frontal push here, coming in from 458. Quite dangerous as well. He's got 5, 6 Reavers there in the front. He's got no observer though, so these lurkers are going to go down to the splash. Wait, no, it stays alive. This one stays alive, and this one is going to deal a lot of damage to everything here. That one single Reaver might just be his saving grace, although I don't think it would have made much of a difference, because look at this. Look at all these Hydralisks getting the surround on those readers. He's going to break through the front there, maybe, or is he going to bide his time and wait up to become bigger and bigger? The base here, the main base for 458, has not grown all that much in the meantime, but he hasn't had the need to, because do keep in mind, we're only 12 minutes in, and this game can still go anywhere, and both players have been doing a great job at progressing to exactly where they need to be. Although, this might, right now, start to be the time where 458 might have to start using shuttle drops, although I'm not sure if he can even get in there. He might have, maybe it was a better choice to have gone for shuttle drops way earlier, because he has given Toki a lot of time. But nonetheless, both players are doing what they have to do right now, at the moment, and whether it's going to work out or not, that's something we will have to wait and see. This is a total of 12, 14 gateways. You don't need that many gateways in Protoss vs Zerg, because you want your unit mass to be a combination of Dragoons, Zealots, Corsairs, Reavers, and Templars, and that's why he's got those 3 robots there. Maybe he wants to add on a couple more, maybe build more cannons as a safety buffer zone. He could add on more buildings, I'm sure. 458 sacrificing his Zealots. He does not have an observer. Where is the observer tribunal? There it is. We can make it. He's got air armor on the way, shield on the way, weapon on the way, no armor on the way. Does he have armor upgrade finished? He has it finished, but he only has 2 forges. He's got 3. Got 3 forges. He added on another gas because he needs more gas. Another nexus there as well. More cannons there. He's just preparing himself for the onslaught that is about to come. Likewise, Toki has prepared himself as well with this massive combination of lurkers there in the front, mixed in with Hydralisks, which have level 1 attack upgrade, level 2 on the way, still only on a single Evo chamber. He's got Zergling attack on the way. Zergling speed he already had finished. He's got air attack upgrade, air carapace upgrade has just finished. He's got a Defiler mount somewhere soon, nowhere yet, but soon. More hatches there on the side. He's got Devourers against those Corsairs to keep those Guardians alive. Smart choice. More cannons being added on there on the side. Both players are just turtling up, but they're doing it pretty fast, because we're only 14 minutes in, and we did have some action within those first 5 minutes. So it's only been about 8 minutes, or maybe 9 minutes of inaction. Once again, Zealots being sacrificed there because he needs to replace them with Dragoons and with Zealots, with Templars and Reavers. Guardians there on the side already trying to take down those cannons, but the dumb Guardian AI is actually flying them right into the cannon range, even though they actually outrange them. Shuttles coming in from the bottom side, but Toki spots them out immediately, takes them down with the Hydralisks, and prevents the drop from happening. There's a nice little corner here on the top side where 458 can drop his Templars to storm those drones in the case he does manage to get through to avoid those lurkers. But then again, 458 does not yet know that there's even lurkers around there. He tries to go in from the other side too. There's mostly Dragoons and Templars there. He manages to go in. A lot of Dragoons in there. Toki not responding. There's a lot of Dragoons there unloaded. Templars there unloading right next to the... He manages to not get a single storm off. The Lurker's just doing a lot of work there, taking down those Templars within seconds, well, within the blink of an eye, to be more precise. Prevents the storm drop from happening altogether. Starts clearing out cannons there on the side once again. Still just getting bigger. The action is about to break out, I'm sure. 458 still on the exact... Well, he added on 3 more, maybe 2 more. He added on 2 more gateways there. He's going to add on more robots here on the middle as well. Cannons are coming down too. Another drop there came out, but the drop's not hitting, not landing, because everything is going down before it can shoot or cast a spell. Guardians here on the side going down. More spores being built there on the side. A lot of spores there. More spores coming down there as well. Toki is pretty much being campy as hell, but it's what he has to do. 16 minutes in. Follow push is happening, takes down the observer, actually goes outside of detection range of the Overlord. So the observer now has gone down. Well, it's still there. One of the 2 observers went down though. The observer is too far away for him to attack these lurkers. So the purpose has been served. More Dragoons coming in. Another observer has finished 4, 4, 5, 8. Let me just fix my chair. Where's this? Drop coming in, drop coming in, drop coming in. Drop gets ensnared. Great move there from Toki. Storm comes down on the drones, on the gas, not on the minerals. Close call, but no results achieved. Though Toki on 61 drones, which is a little bit below the benchmark where he wants to be. But it does mean he has at the moment more units. But once he reaches the point where he has to mass units really quick, it might not be that great to have so few drones. He added on another 9. Frontal attack happening here. The Guardians going for the side cannons there. A lot of Templars are in the mix as well. Dragoons there too. He's got the level 2 upgrades for all of his Dragoons except for the armor. Reavers are in the back, just sitting tight, waiting for the push. Observers moving to the front there. Reavers now moving to the front there as well. Dragoons pulling back because he knows he needs detection. But there is the Devourer shooting on the Observer. Observer now giving vision of those lurkers. There's no overlords nearby to detect the Observer. And he manages to make some progress there. Some pretty good progress made there through the front. Killed most of the lurkers there. And more Dragoons coming in there from the back. 4-8 is managing to do a lot of stuff now with very little. At least in terms of macro. Storms coming down on the Guardians. Storms coming down on the Hydralisk. Guardians taking down those Reavers. But the Guardians might be going down before the Reavers go down. Although now we've got a wave of Mules finishing up for Toki. Which are now soon to be on the way. He's got a lot of Larva not doing anything because he's focusing on the fight there. The Guardians here on the top side are clearing out the remaining units. But the Reavers there still alive. But the Storm comes down on the Mules. More Mules are going. No, they are surviving this one. Guardians are from the top side flanking the army mass there from 458. And these Reavers actually go down eventually in the end after taking out this entire frontal portion there and those 2 hatcheries. So he did gain some ground, but Toki now in the process of making mass Guardians with the support of a couple of Devourers that will stop Corsairs from being relevant. The Dragoons going in through the front once again. He's got level 2 carapace, level 1 attack on those Guardians. So it will be a pretty tough fight here. Guardians are pretty strong on fastest map. They are not that beefy. They kind of go down pretty fast, but their damage is really high, and they can shoot from pretty far away as well. And their fire rate is pretty fast as well. So look at this, he's clearing this out. He's adding on more Sunkens, put a lurker there in the front. There's no Observer there because the Observer died. Observer's there in the back. And he's once again forced to retreat because he cannot shoot and press forward. Guardians there once again going to clear out the size that 4-8 has tried to rebuild, but is getting shut down already. Guardians there going to the top side there as well on the other side of his base. It's a smart choice to just deny all that side control from your opponent and give yourself a lot more options on how to attack, approach, and play the game. Drop there coming in, nothing to oppose it except those lurkers. He drops all the lurkers, gets a shot up on the drones. He kills about 20 drones there. And another storm there coming down as well. Kills another 27. So that's a total of 37 drones killed there. That's a lot of drones. And that does put us a halt to Toki's progression out into the middle of the map. This buys 458 some time to formate another attack. And now it becomes a question of whether Toki can recover fast enough. He's on 81 drones now. He went from 33 to 81, which is about 47 drones. 48 drones, my bad. 48, not 47. 48 drones he added on. He's microing a Reaver with a shuttle there to avoid damage from the Guardians. And the push here is actually once again yielding some pretty great results. Toki is on maximum supply though because he's got all those Guardians that are now pushing back the force of 458 that's trying to break through. He's being blocked there by his own unit, so he cannot break through and send in reinforcements. And that little blockade here is actually working out in Toki's favor immensely, because imagine if all those Dragoons stuck here had been right here fighting against those Guardians and killing those Guardians. It would have really messed up Toki's army size. Although Toki can replace it pretty quick with all those hatcheries he's got there. I think he's got about 25 hatcheries in total. Drop coming in there through the front. He's trying to snipe it, but I think the shuttle's going to make it through. No, the shuttle doesn't make it through. The shuttle there does make it through, but there's nothing in it. And he has unblocked himself there in the front, but Guardian's now trying to clear out this little portion there on the middle, while these units here in the base are trying to progress as well. A lot of stuff happening here at the same time. The fight here happening in the front, but he's got no energy on those Templars, so the Templars are going to go down. He's got 2 Observers there. He's making new Lurkers there as well. He's going to kill those Guardians here, attacking the frontal portion of this blockade. Reavers spawning there as well. He's picking up some... He's picking up a drone. He's going to try to land it somewhere on the map, but maybe 458 is going to know that there's a drone in there. He's going to hunt for the Overlord, because he knows he wants to kill that Overlord. He knows the possibility of a drone being in there exists, so he snipes it before it arrives on destination, namely the bottom corner there, where he could have built a Nidus to circumvent this entire blockade and contain, pulled off by 458 here. Lurkers there once again have finished, but have not yet burrowed up. He's going to burrow them up in a little bit. There's an Observer there hanging. Observer goes down though immediately, and a Darkstorm comes down on top of the Lurkers there as well, meaning he cannot fire on them anymore. Although he already didn't have vision, there's still an Observer there. He's going to have to pull that to the front there. He's going to try to go in nonetheless, because he knows that his Dragoons are pretty much just replaceable, because he added on even more gateways there in his base for a total of 20 gateways. Not that many, but just enough. More Guardians coming in there. Storms coming down on the Guardians. Really intense fight happening here in Toki's front. Will 458 break through, or will this once again be just another failed attempt at trying to break through? Drop comes in though, and all of 458's, well, all of Toki's units are displaced, well, misplaced. But the Reaver does not get his shot off. There's more Reavers in there. It's going to wait for those drones to get back onto the mineral stack. He allows the Reavers. Reaver gets a shot off. Reaver does not get a shot off because the Guardians kill the Reavers just quick enough. Sometimes Reavers are capable of shooting within a quarter of a second. Sometimes it takes them a little bit longer. And this was one of those cases where the Reaver was kind of slow with firing its load on those drones. The Guardians once again clearing out this container on the side. It's 458 once again put up there. It's very annoying that he always has to break through it, but it's exactly what 458 needs. He needs that distraction, so he can once again try to break through the front there. Observer there still on the side. He lost the other Observer once again here in the front, I think. He keeps losing the Observers. Some really great work there from Toki with killing those Observers. Once again, repels the Guardians from breaking through the side there. But once again, Toki then just tries to go for the other side to clear out those cannons right there. So he is slowly getting stuff done. Dragoons walk into the depths. Observer there on the way. There it is. Gets himself that nice vision of those Lurkers, which now means those Reavers can kill those Lurkers and he can start progressing once again. But first he has to clear out those Guardians to prevent this contain from being broken. Although it looks pretty broken right now, also these Guardians there once again breaking the contain, but 458 is breaking through the front here at the same time as well. Templar there gets a storm up on those Guardians. Look at the Guardians HP going down. Toki very wisely splits them up. Reavers there still tearing through the front. He's got a Defiler there, not using Plague. Defiler sadly goes down before using anything. Defiler there in the back as well. He has 2 of those nice canals, but he hasn't been capable of using them. He did overlord some units over the wall though, to finally get this done and over with. More Mulas spawning, Devourers there on the way as well, Guardians moving to the front, more Observers here ready to assist, Dragoons firing on the Guardians, but Guardians are pretty strong with their full upgrades. These Dragoons also have their full upgrades, so it's pretty much a fully upgraded Zerg against a fully upgraded Protoss. Although actually he's a level 2 Carapace there, so not fully upgraded just yet. Same for the air damage, is also still level 2. There's the Overlord there breaking through, finding its way through the containment. Distraction there with the Defiler and the Guardians served its purpose. Also broke through this portion there. Overlord here is finally able to get another hatchery down there for a Nidus Canal sneak attack. There it is. There's the Overlord. going to be seeing one of these two Nidus Canals building another Nidus Canal here. And he's going to try to backdoor his opponent with a nice little sneak attack. He's trying to break through the front there, but this is a lot of Dragoons. There's Templars moving through the front there as well, ready to storm, but there's Guardians attacking from every single side. Guardians attack from every single side there. Another drop there coming in at the same time too, but it got ensnared by the Queen. Guardians moving to the back to kill units here on the ground. Doesn't get a shot off on the drones. The drones all staying alive. There's nothing left inside those shuttles, but he's breaking through the front here at the same time because those Dragoons are so damn strong. The storms there were assisting in breaking through. So he's gonna get some real results here, and he's actually for the very first time inside of Toki's base, almost completely unopposed. Shuttle drop there coming in. There's Reavers in there. A lot of Reavers. Reavers getting a shot off. Reavers not getting a shot off, but at least he manages to force Toki to pull his workers off of the minerals. And this is looking pretty damn dangerous here. This is looking pretty damn dangerous. Templars there accidentally walking into their deaths. Hatchery not yet finished there on the bottom, but it's soon to be finishing up. And Toki actually clears out his base. He clears out all of 458's units. There's no Dragoons here on the middle though. That spells some trouble. He lost a lot of his supply within the bat of an eye, within the wink of an eye. Blink of an eye, that's how you say it. So the hatchery there has finished. He could have broken out through the front there with all those Guardians, but I don't think Toki knows or knew that 458 lost most of his Dragoons there. It would have been a great moment for Toki to break through. But he decides against it. He wants to play it safe because he didn't know. For all he knew, 458 once again already had mass Dragoons here on the middle, ready to fight and kill those Guardians, and Templars in the mix there of course as well. Once again, the fight starts. 458 tries to break himself through this little narrow choke point there, but that's a lot of Guardians, but also a lot of Corsairs. They're coming in, but Hydralisk is coming in from the back to kill those Corsairs, but there's Reavers here on the local. Reavers are walking into their deaths because of a misclick. This is actually massive. Massive little accident there for 458. If those Reavers had shot on those Hydralisks, the Corsairs would stay alive and those Guardians would have been killed by the Corsairs, but now we're looking at a completely different scenario. Also, he finally got that Nidus Canal there up on the bottom and he's sending units into it to flank from behind. Oh, that's not that many Hydralisks. You might actually have to wait there. Although maybe he actually has to go in there. These Hydralisks could deal some real damage there because there's nothing here protecting those Robos except for these units coming in from behind. Units here in the front being taken down by Lurkers, Hydralisks, and Guardians as well. Little drop there on the top side. Fight happening here. He killed one cannon. He's going to kill the pylons first to depower the Robos. But a drop there coming in through the back side. He's got Reavers there, but all the drones have dodged and ran away to safety. But another drop there coming in from the front, but all the shuttles are getting sniped by the Hydralisks. He's got another Nidus Canal there, well, another hatchery there on the top side as well. A lot of units now coming in through the Nidus Canal, aiming to backdoor. Is this gonna work? That's the question. Toki has himself set up for a lot of potential here because he can attack from two different directions at the same time. And this is really gonna catch 458 off guard here. He's not expecting this. Dragoons are being pulled to the back here to fight against those Lurkers and those Hydralisks. Will these Dragoons be enough? There's no detection there because the Observer overshot himself, being pulled back to the front now because he wants to clear all this out, but also at the same time at the front there's Guardians now clearing out this portion there, and there's nothing to oppose those Guardians except for a single Dragoon and a single Archon. What's gonna happen next? This game is suddenly turning very tense. Very tense. Dragoons managed to clear out most of the units. More Lurkers have arrived on the scene. Guardians are tearing through the Reavers and the cannons here in the front. And more units are being massed up here by Toki, who's now sending them in through the Nidus Canal to make them attack the frontal here. And this looks to be the game, in my opinion. I don't think 458 has what it takes, at least not with this base, to make... I wanted to say something clever, but it just completely flunked. Like, flop! My brain just didn't work. The way this race is soon going to be won by either of these two players. Will it be the 458 or the Rabbit that comes out on top? 458 is holding on for now pretty well. He's making new robos in his base, but he doesn't have any cannons in the front there, and cannons in the front there would really help as a buffer. But fully upgraded Dragoons are pretty strong. Don't forget about that little fact. He's clearing out the robos on the middle there now, and 458 tries to look for this obvious Nidus Canal Expo that is definitely there. But look at this mass amount of units that 458 is now faced with. Toki is sending all of his units, every single one, even the lurkers around his hive, sending them all out into the battle. And thus 458 have enough Templars to storm all these units to death. Or is this going to be the end? There's a Devourer there debuffing the Corsairs, so the Guardian should be completely fine, and 458 knows he's lost the game, and Toki comes out on top after 32 minutes and 36 seconds of what was a very tense and exciting match. And probably the biggest reason why you don't give Rabbit time as Zerg, because he is one of the scariest late game Zerg players. He has a great understanding of what to do and how to do it. He might not be one of those very high APM players, but he knows exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and why. Why do I do this? Why do I do all these actions? Why do I make these units? Why do I place them here or there? He knows everything he needs to know to make it all work. And 458 gave him too much time. I really think he should have just gone straight for the drops instead of those mass gateways. But as I've already explained earlier, there was a reason behind why he went for those mass gateways. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at this for now. I really enjoyed these two games. I might actually cast more games between these two players from this exact same series. And we're completely gonna ignore the score. We're just gonna appreciate the matches themselves. I really like this one. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you back next time around. And the next video will probably be tomorrow, because I don't want to put another 5.5 days in between a cast. It's way too much time. Hopefully the weather stays nice, and hopefully you stay entertained.